war actually erupts in 1754 when the governor of Virginia tries to oust the French from Ohio, right? So a lot of the colonies in 1754 are looking to expand, and they know that they're going to run to the French, but they're looking to survey that land, take that land, so because their population is expanding and they want to take on more land. And so Virginia looks to the Ohio Valley as a place that's very rich and a good place to expand. So the governor of Virginia sends the young George Washington to Ohio to oust the French and take that land. And George Washington does a spectacularly terrible job. He ends up attacking a small patrol, and then the rest of the French force and their Native American allies surround George Washington's camp. And his camp is in a valley. It's in a very poor area. It's surrounded by high ground. It begins to rain, and the French attack from above while George Washington's troops are basically swimming. And George Washington is forced to surrender and basically lead back to Virginia. When Britain hears about this defense, they decide to enact a full-scale war. So the British take the French forts at the Bay of Fundy. They send General Braddock to defend George Washington, and they send General Braddock, and George Washington goes with him as an aide to Fort Duquesne. Now Braddock is a very traditional British general. Right? He believes in strict order. He does not trust these American colonists. He does not trust Native American allies, and he believes in traditional warfare. And Braddock marches his men directly into an ambush within 10 miles of the fort. He refuses to accept guerrilla warfare, and he refuses to listen to his Native American allies. Braddock is killed. Washington takes over and enacts a very successful retreat. The Native Americans take that defeat as a signal to attack the English colonists in Ohio, Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. And by 1756, they have killed 700 settlers, and the rest flee east as refugees. Now, embarrassed by their losses, Britain takes a new approach. They've fought in a variety of places and they've lost in 1755 to 57. So in 1757, they decide that the way they're going to win this war is they're going to throw money at the problem. Right? And so they get a lot of the colonists to contribute cash and men and arms to the British. So the British are throwing money at the problem. They spend about 10 times what the French spend. They spend about, at that time, about £4 million, while the French spend about 400,000 pounds. So it's quite a difference. And the money does solve it. They do end up taking control of a lot of the battles, and they do end up doing much better starting in 758. And here you can see, going back to Braddock's defeat, down here at the bottom where Braddock's defeat is, you can see the movements of the British starting in 758, 759, as they start to rout the French in a variety of places. Now there is, you see at the top, this is Wolfe from Great Britain. General Wolfe is a very popular general in England. He had been very successful in previous wars, and he decides to attack Quebec, and it's an all-out conventional battle, at the end of which Quebec surrenders, but Wolfe dies. And here is a portrait of General Wolfe at the scene of the Battle of Quebec, and he becomes a martyr for the British Empire. And I love